think that something is bothering you down deep. There's some kind of inkling, some kind of, you're thinking, where is this coming from? What is it that keeps me from making a choice? What is it keeps me from moving? What has me stymied?
Welcome to Cards and Constellations with Bonnie Morris and Don Rumor Rivera from Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Here, we blend astrology and tarot to guide you through the twists and turns for the week ahead. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share. Let's dive into your cosmic journey together.
Hello, this is for the week of August 11th through the 17th. Now we're going to have a general overview of the astrology, and then we will go into specifics for each sign. We will also have specific tarot readings on each sign. As always, we do start out with the moon. So expect on the 15th. We're going to see the last quarter in Taurus at 23 degrees, 26 minutes. During the last quarter is when you celebrate the success, celebrate the project completion, and then we turn away and move forward. As we go back, we have to go all the way back and find the new moon in Taurus. When you set your intentions for this project, that occurred on May 19th of 2023 at 28 degrees of Taurus. The first quarter where you do all that work occurred on February 16th of 2024 at 27 degrees of Taurus. And then we looked at the full moon, which was May 7th of 2024 at 18 degrees of Taurus. And again, now we're at the last quarter ready to go on. Now, we're going to go over the void, of course. If you recall, last week I reminded you that the void, of course, would begin on August 10th at 11:54 p.m. at 13 degrees of Pisces. It continues all the way through the 11th and into August 12th at 3:33 a.m. when it ends and the moon goes into the sign of Aries. Again, on the 13th, we begin another void at 3:53 p.m. at 21 degrees of Aries. It ends on the 14th at 6:22 a.m. when it enters into Taurus. On August 15th at 10:11 p.m., we go into another void, of course, at 23 degrees of Taurus, and it ends on the 16th at 9:01 when it enters into Gemini. Hey, Capricorn, this week we are starting out as we ended last week with those two kites in the mystic rectangle with the same oppositions that are present. So if you were able to manage all of that last week, kudos to you. Do it again, keep it up, and move forward if you can. Now, we're all taking a collective sigh of relief because Mercury finally turned direct on Monday. However, there's always that little caveat, right? 2 weeks of post-shadow. So things aren't going to change on a dime. It's slow, but it will. The fog will lift and things will come clear. It's just going to take some time. It won't happen overnight. Now, let's see. I kind of started doing things by memory. Midweek, we're going to see the moon go into a square with Pluto. Now, also in a square is Mercury, which means actions have to be taken. Decisions must be made. So you've got your feelings with transformation and change, and you have your feelings with communication. So there are some changes, but if you can manage that, you got it made in the shade. We do start out the week, as a reminder, with Venus and Jupiter still conjunct. Saturn and Neptune also are still conjunct. Jupiter and Venus together give a certain generosity of spirit, shall we say. There's something between your feelings and the romance. Ooh, romance? Did I say romance? But they're in a square with the moon. So you've got to make some changes for that to all work out. And let's see, we start out the week like I said, with Mercury turning direct. Now, Mars is also in Libra, and that energizes communication. So, encouraging assertive work habits, but also urging balance to avoid burnout. Ambition is sharpened. However, you must pace yourself. Mars drives productivity, but it can also trigger tension. If it is overextended, the full moon energy that we just had may have brought some emotional breakthroughs or closures around family or close relationships. Venus is conjunct with Jupiter, as I said, in Cancer. That gives a certain warmth and generosity of spirit, especially in intimate or domestic relationships. Communication will improve midweek, and that's a perfect time to clear up any misunderstandings that occurred during retrograde. This week will invite deeper self-reflection, especially on boundaries, resources, and emotional investments. Dawn, what are you showing for Capricorn?
Capricorn, let's take a look at tarot, and let's thank Miss Bonnie for that astrology reading. We're going to find out whether they kind of work in conjunction with each other or maybe not quite so much. Interesting. Cards are jumping for you, Capricorn. First card out that was a jumper. Ooh, the Two of Swords. Not Two of Swords. Interesting. What's up with that Two of Swords? I'm going to draw one or two. The two other cards popped out. I'm going to look at them, and then we'll do like the reading of the combined cards, because that Two of Swords alone is problematic. But let's look at the next card. We have the Moon card. Oh, Lord have mercy. And then the third card out, the Death card. Dun, 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 dun. Don't worry, it ain't death usually. Anyway, with that said, let's look at the bottom of the deck. That's the energy for your environment. And that energy for your environment is that Knight of Coins. Oh, I'm liking that. The Knight of Coins is like, hey, we are moving and grooving. And this is one of the more active knights, by the way. And because this is the Knight of Pentacles. So the coins is pentacles, and in essence, what it is abundance. And so it's not just focused on work. It's not just focused on home. It's not hearth and happiness and all those things. It's all that kind of combined in a way. But the most important thing is it's a holistic picture. So the good thing about that holistic image that comes with Pentacles, and considering that this is a knight, is that your energy around you, your environment energy, is a very supportive energy, but a very moving energy, an energy of motion, an energy of activity, an energy of progress. So that confuses me, because the Two of Swords is there with the Moon card, and the Two of Swords is telling me that you cannot make a decision right now. You're conflicted. Okay, you're not exactly sure what to do. And Capricorn, usually that's not quite your thing. Usually you seem pretty definitive, but in this regard, not so much. In this regard, you're kind of again, you feel conflicted for whatever reason. And the one thing that catches me most off guard is you don't even know why. The Moon card here is saying you don't know why. There are questions that you don't have answers to. And to be honest with you, part of this is I think there are questions you don't have questions to, because again, I think that something is bothering you down deep. There's some kind of inkling, something that's bothering you. You're thinking, where is this coming from? What is it that keeps me from making a choice? What is it keeps me from moving? What has me stymied? And it's confusing and frustrating to you. I get that. But the reality is the Death card here says you have to do the change. You have to make the choice. You know, you're going to have to be the one. No one else can do this for you. There's no knight in shining armor who's going to run out of the blue with their white steed and say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. And it's not going to happen. There is no magical thing from the universe that's going to do that. However, the universe is that motion of energy moving forward. So you'll see signs this week as you progress that could indicate what you should do. But you need to make the decision ultimately, again, because there's just something gnawing at you, something that just doesn't seem to sit right with either choice. Now, this is an Eight of Cups situation here, which tells you this is not an easy choice. This is not going to be a quick choice. And again, the analysis is long and drawn. But there's no surety in the end that, again, you're going to get what you need to do to make a choice to make you feel comfortable. However, I will give you this, and this is the last card I'm going to pull, and that is a Palace of Coins. And that Palace of Coins is telling you very clearly you're going to make the right choice. So Capricorn, all this struggle, all this worry, all this concern, all of this gnashing of your teeth because you want to make the right choice because whatever. And ultimately, if you just allow yourself to think, to process, and to understand all the energies around you, you're going to make the right choice. Ultimately, you will do that and have confidence and faith in that. So if you get to a point where you really, 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 really can't make that choice, one thing I would suggest, the Two of Swords has a little hint in its card because it is a Two of Swords. And I'm going to show it to you again. It's called the Sword. And the one thing about the Sword that I know more than anything else, it's not emotion. It's not hype. It's not pleasing people. It is reasonable and logical. And so if ultimately you cannot make a decision that helps you move forward this week, and you have to fall back on anything, even if you don't have confidence or trust in your own clairvoyance, your own intuition, your own whatever you want to call it, go back to that and say, will this help me proceed? Will this do more gain than harm? Will this lead to relationship building instead of relationship destruction? Will this lead to a better job versus a worse job? Will this lead me to a relaxed week next week, or is this going to complicate my life more? If you do that analysis based on logical and reasonable standards, again, objective standards, I think you're going to find the answer that you need to. But I'm saying don't necessarily let it get to that point. Come on, Capricorn, you've got the knowledge, you've got the wherewithal, you have the instinct. Follow your instincts and you will be fine. And you will find your Palace of Coins. You will find that abundance, I promise. Well, Miss Bonnie, that was an interesting one. I didn't know where they were going with that when those cards flew out. And initially, it seemed ominous, but at the same time, I was actually very pleased to see that it kind of flipped the script. It kind of flipped the script and said, you know what? There is, again, it goes back to our confidence in ourselves. And that's what I felt with this. Confidence in yourself. Have confidence in yourself. How does that align with the astrology?
Okay, well, you see I have a hitchhiker here. She's had all she can take, and now she needs some attention. But according to the tarot, I think it fits the very last paragraph I was talking about, which that communication doesn't improve. Things don't really start to change till midweek. And I think that's even pushing it because we were in retrograde. We were looking back. We were looking inside. And now you want to move forward? Okay, it says here, it's a perfect time to clear up misunderstandings. And this week invites deep self-reflection, especially with boundaries, resources, and emotional investments. I think that fit.
I think so too. While we're talking about making things fit, how can people fit into our world every week, Miss Bonnie, and helping them do their thing?
Down on the lower right-hand corner, there's a little button that says subscribe on it. And we just love it when you push our button. So push that and set that little notification bell to all. Now, if you do that on my channel, Your Love Goddess, hop over to Mr. Don on Sonoran Mystic Tarot and do the same thing there. And when you're done with that, go up to Cards and Constellations. Use the ampersand because that's important, and do the same thing there. Hit subscribe and set that bell to all. And then when you're done with all of that, hit the share button because that helps your friends and your family. It's disappearing here. You just don't understand how much, or maybe you do. Maybe you've listened to some other signs and you realize that sometimes you get messages from there. Same thing here. This might be a Capricorn, but somebody else might have Capricorn in their chart. They just might not be labeled a Capricorn. So share that out. Send the love out. We love it.
Absolutely. Also, additionally, make sure you share when you share and you subscribe, leave a comment. If you like to hear something, if you like some feedback or you like to give feedback, or if you want to know some more information about personal readings or anything else, we got you covered. Just send us a message and we do respond to every message you send. So we will get back with you. With that said, we're going to let you go. And with love, light, and blessings from Miss Bonnie and her family, me and my family, little Charlie over there, to you and your family. Adios.